الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. The ayats before this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed these surahs, this knowledge in the Quran Sharif, which is in the Arabic language, so that people can easily understand. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ, the people of the Arabs, where it was the Jews or the Arab people themselves could understand and take great lesson. This is the object of the Quran Sharif, for a person to ponder. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Why don't they ponder over the Quran Sharif, or are there locks over the hearts of the people? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to ponder in the Quran Sharif. And thereafter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now mentions that this surah especially, Allah ta'ala has given it, and Allah mentions the virtue of this surah in this section here. Ahsan al-Qasas, the best of incidents, Allah ta'ala mentions, it refers to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And normally the virtues of any surah mentioned by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam will explain to us the virtue of surah Ikhlas, the Mu'awwidhatayn, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. But very seldom in the Quran Sharif. Only one other place I can think of where Surah Fatiha is praised in the Quran Sharif. But Allah says the best, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِ, we have given you the 7 verses which are repeated over and over. And it's like the whole Quran, it's the crux of the Quran Sharif, Allah Ta'ala mentions. And here Allah Ta'ala mentions the virtue of Surah Yusuf, that we have revealed upon you, O Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, the best of incidents. نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ بِمَا أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ. By us sending down this wahi and revelation of the Quran Sharif, by doing so we have sent you the best of incidents. And وَإِن كُنْتَ مِن قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ, even though, O Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, before this you were amongst the people who were unaware, you did not know. Ghafil, here it means bi-khabar, you were unaware of this incident before we mentioned it to you, people, to you, or the people of the Jews. Allah is saying, even though they were completely unaware of this here, Allah Ta'ala has given it and explained it in a very beautiful way. Why is it called Ahsan al-Qasas, the best of incidents? So the ulama say that there are many lessons in Surah Yusuf. In Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned in this surah, these commands also, and there is prohibitions also. There is tadhakkur and tafakkur. It reminds a person also, and it makes a person ponder and think. There is thawab in there also mentioned, the rewards and punishment also is mentioned. There is hayrat, shock, amazement, and sadness also in this surah. There is deen also, and there is dunya also. There is halal also, and there is haram. So in a beautiful way, Allah Ta'ala has mentioned all of these things in the surah. Other ulama say there are even more things. There are many other mazamin. There are many other subject matters in the surah. So others have written, for example, there is deen, the subject matter of deen, the subject matter of dunya. There is a subject matter of history and the subject matter of people's lives, biographies. There is the matters of siyasat, how a person must rule a country, and politics also is mentioned. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the stories of ishq, love relationships. Allah Ta'ala has mentioned in this surah. Allah Ta'ala has mentioned the help and assistance of Allah Ta'ala when a person adopts zuhud and taqwa, piety, and he abstains from the things of this world. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the incidents of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam and the pious people. And on the other hand, Allah has mentioned the stories of the kings and the evildoers also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the incidents of the angels. And Allah Ta'ala has mentioned the incidents regarding the birds, the animals also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a mention of jinnat and insan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the shayateen also here in the surah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about kings and businessmen, ulama and jahils, ignorant people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about wealth and poverty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about honor, and Allah has mentioned about disgrace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about sabr, when a person controls himself, and those women who could not control themselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, and human beings also who cannot control themselves when they get jealousy in them. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the makari and the deception and the deceit of human beings. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned all of these mazamin, so many subject matters in one surah. It's about a half para only. So that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has referred to this as Ahsan al-Qasas, the best of incidents. Subhanallah. And Allah Ta'ala says, وَإِن كُنْتَ مِن قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. And before that, O Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, you are amongst the unmindful people, you didn't know. But now when a person gets knowledge, then ghaflat is removed. What's the meaning of ghaflat? Ulama say ghaflat means it's a parda and it's a veil which is placed over the heart of a person. Once this veil is removed from a person, then many things open up to a person. So we actually, in some places in the Quran Sharif, Allah Ta'ala complains to us that ghaflat, one of the main causes why people go misguided, or why people are they are blind, they are deaf, dumb, ulaika humul ghafilun, because they are living a life of ghaflat, unmindfulness, and they are not trying to come out of this unmindfulness. So this is one of the severe sicknesses, spiritual sicknesses of a person, that we not have fikr, we don't have concern. This is called ghaflat. Ulama so beautifully mentioned, they say when ghaflat comes to a person, unmindfulness, then a veil comes over the heart of a person. So a person's heart is filled up with ghaflat, with unmindfulness, and the earth, it is the grave, is filled up with hasrat, sadness and sorrow. People are complaining now, I wish I had done this in the world, I wish I had done this in the world. So we do not know nowadays, we do not know whether the ghaflat and unmindfulness of the heart is more, or whether the sorrow of the greed, the dead people is more. Because in this world there is ghaflat and mindfulness, we are covered, our hearts are covered, but they will be covered, the bodies will be covered, but there will be so much of sadness and sorrow. So if a person remains in a life of ghaflat and mindfulness, when he will go in the grave, he will be a life full of hasrat and full of sorrow and sadness. So may Allah Ta'ala protect and save us. So what Allah Ta'ala is telling us that the surah we have revealed to you now, before this you were unmindful, now come out of that unmindfulness and turn your attention towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Try to get understanding, open your mind. When a person tries to open his mind, inshallah Allah removes it. And the opposite of ghaflat is actually dhikr. The more a person makes the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he comes out of a life of unmindfulness. So therefore we should also take out some time daily to make the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as a person continues, actually the whole heart is supposed to come full with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then there must not be any moment of ghaflat and mindfulness in a person's life. Allah ta'ala give us true understanding.